Okay, let's do this. I saw it last night. Here are my thoughts. The Exorcist franchise. One of the things it's famous for is its reputation of bad sequels and bad prequels. And even one particular sequel that came out across as bad and then all of a sudden gained a cult, not all of a sudden, but over time gained a cult following. Even I liked it. I'm talking about Exorcist 3. Me going inside this theater to see this film, knowing for the last couple of years they were going to do this, had me, with low expectations. However, I found myself surprised being very much engaged in this film. I actually liked it for a while. The first half of the movie, I think, was very tension filled. And the very beginning of the film really set the tone, in my opinion, for that first half, particularly. Okay? We have Victor Felding, the main character, and he is, you see him, it starts in Haiti. It doesn't start where the film ends up being. It, pretty much like the original film. It starts somewhere else in the world. Haiti, with Victor and his wife, his pregnant wife. They're pregnant with their daughter, Angela. Earthquake happens. Bad things happen. And then it fast forwards 13 years later. Angela's 13 now, the baby. And Victor, as you would probably have figured it out from the trailer, is a single dad, raising his daughter. She has a best friend. Her friend also, she's part of a family, a very tight knit nuclear family, brother, sister, I think, and mother, father, whole family. And they go to church, they go to a Bible believing Christian church. And, as you saw in the trailer, they disappear into the woods after school one day and they're gone for 3 days because the trailer tells you they're gone for 3 days. Trailers have this thing about spoiling a lot of stuff for people. And this movie will never be what the original 1973 classic was. It will never be that. And I think a lot of people walked in there knowing that. I even think David Gordon Green, the director, knows this too. I don't think he's stupid. I think he was just giving his thing on what a sequel to something like this would be, pretty much the way he did with the last 3 Halloween films. However, I could tell you right now what this movie is. It's a nod. If it's going to be anything to the original film from 1973, it's just a nod, a little nod. Like, hey, remember that over there? Yeah. And that's how it feels to me. Nothing more than that. Ellen Burst, who played Chris McNeil in the original film, she reprises her role here. And Victor Fielding goes to seek her for help and guidance in trying to help because he knows what she went through because he read her book. And it was very interesting how after that part, that's when the movie lost its tension to me. Let me tell you, there were moments in the first half of that movie where I was like, there was even a moment where it was kind of like an Insidious moment. Let me just say it like that, where I was like, oh my God, like it was, and I thought that was good. I was like, woo, like that was good, and I was like, this movie maybe this movie ain't gonna be as bad as I thought. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. That's how it kind of fell for me. It wasn't a bad film. I liked it. I did. I'm not gonna front. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I wasn't bored, but I wasn't that impressed either. I was impressed for like I said, the first half. The second half, when they started gathering all the people involved to help deal with the problem, with the situation, that's when things started becoming a little messy because all of a sudden you had this person from this religion wanting to do their version of driving demons out. You wanted this person from this particular faith wanted to, and then you had the Catholic. So it's like you had an ecumenical council of different people from different backgrounds and different faiths bonding together because the main message was that what brings people together in all these faiths and this whole thing about faith is people, the people. We are family, right? So it's communal here. It's communal. So we're all going to gather together. Doesn't matter what faith you're from. We're going to drive these demons out of these two poor girls that have become possessed of whatever it was that happened to them in the woods. You see kind of how it happened. You see it a little bit. Like when I was watching, I was like, okay, all right. Knowing what I know about the subject of demonic possession, as a Catholic, as knowing the stuff I've known about, I see things when they're coming. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. It kind of like floors me when they decide to I understand they wanted to involve other faiths to kind of show, hey, Catholics aren't the only ones that run this, and that's true. There's no lie there. However, it doesn't that's not how things kind of work in their practical use of those kind of situations. Like, pick a faith, any faith, but don't be trying to make this a big hip hip hooray hootenanny kind of thing, that we get I don't know. Felt like the Avengers of exorcism. It's weird. And that's kind of what made it messy, and that's what it made it feel less genuine in the second half of the film towards the third act. Like, it became like another, okay, here we go. This is the typical crap that we're all used to seeing in all of these exorcism movies. Didn't sense that in the first half. Got a shitload of it in the second half. And that's kind of what, and that's kind of a drag, I suppose, because had David Gordon Green, in my opinion, maintained that same intensity, that same atmosphere, that same spirit in the first half of the film, all the way through to the end, I would have probably given it more coffee cups than I'm going to give it today. There is one particular part in the third act that I found particularly disturbing. I'm not going to mention it here. I don't want to spoil anything. But I am going to do a spoiler discussion. I've decided I'm going to do a spoiler discussion. I've had a couple of my friends say, hey, come on, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this on a live stream or something. I'm like, you know what? I think this deserves a live stream discussion. I think we need to all put all our cards on the table and say everything that we liked and didn't like about this movie. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know. I'm going to give... This is hard. I'm actually going to give Exorcist Believer... I'm going to give it 3 coffee cups. And I'm giving it 3 only because of the first half of the movie. Had it not been for that, I would have brought it down to maybe 2 or 1. That first half of the movie saved the rating, in my opinion. A 3 coffee cup, thing, maybe 2.5. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too generous. I don't know. I just know that this movie had more potential, and it flopped towards the end of it, and that was sad. That was really sad. I'm gonna bring up a lot of more things in the spoiler discussion that I'm not bringing up here because I don't want to give anything away. But go watch it. If you're an Exorcist fan, you're gonna want to watch it. In fact, you know what? How about this? How about I tell you this for perspective? Out of all the movies, like I mentioned in the beginning, Exorcist 2, The Heretic, Exorcist 3, and Dominion, and those that other prequel, whatever it was called. Out of all of those, if I were to if I was to make a physical copy, I have a physical copy of the original film. But if I was to buy any other physical ones, I would do Exorcist 3. And I'll be real. I think I would buy this one too. I would buy this one too because I actually would watch this again. I would watch this again. I would like, you know what? I don't know how many more times I would watch it. I don't think I would watch it as much as I would the first film, but it's something to think about. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Those are mine. It's one of those things. Stay tuned for the spoiler discussion. I'm going to put below in the link my review of the original film from 1973. I did it a few years ago. And check that one out. That one goes really in depth about the 1973 classic. I would love for you to catch it. All right? If you haven't seen it yet, the link will be below. And at the end, I'll put it at the in a thing at the end. Here. This is Ralph Perez, Horror and Coffee, Exorcist Believer. We are in the month of October, and here we are. Have a great day, everyone.